Hello, my friends. So, I have heard that you are embarking on your Artist's Way journey, and I'm so excited to hear about this because The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron is absolutely a transformational process to go through to recover or discover your creativity. As humans, we are meant to be creative. We are innately creative beings. But throughout time and history and life and society, we've lost touch with our natural creativity. At some point, we're told it's bad or wrong, or we have to grow up or get a job or whatever the thing is. And so we tuck it away and we form all of these beliefs around thinking that we're not creative, but we are. So, Julia invites us into a really beautiful process of self inquiry and discovery to tap back into that part of ourselves that is born to create and meant to create. And even if you feel like you don't have a creative bone in your body, like I promise that you do, and just trust the process, just go along with it. No one ever said that our creations have to be good in the eyes of society, right? Or to like anyone else. It's just meant to be good for you and good in the eyes of God or the universe or whatever word you want to fill in there. So I started my Artist Way journey a little bit over a year ago now. And a couple of the biggest things that Julia talks about in her book is number one, doing the morning pages, which is free form stream of consciousness, like free flow writing every day. And the second is the artist date. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about both of these things because they truly are foundational practices. And if you do these and nothing else from the book, you will see a shift in your life in probably all areas of your life because it's impossible to be with yourself on this level and not shift something. So, morning pages, I have done this, no exception, every single day for over a year now. And so much has changed. And it's so interesting because as you do read through the book, like Julia just gets it. She gets it and she calls us all in. She knows that it can be dicey and hard and annoying, and there's times we don't want to do it or we're going to make excuses, but just show up to your pages and you can literally write anything you want. It does not have to make sense. You can just like write gibberish, you can just write curse words, you can write out everything on your heart. It doesn't have to be some like literary, poetic, like grand thing. It can just be like, I'm here today and I made it to my pages, and that's enough. And maybe it is some beautiful poetry. Every day is different. So the best that we can do in this process is not judge ourselves and just be in the flow and don't expect every day to be the same because it's not going to be. Just get to your pages. Also, when I facilitated my Artist Way group, something that I found really fascinating was that people were struggling to like commit to a certain size page. Like, what is a page? Like, how big of a page does it need to be? This is just the mind creating a problem to try and like have some drama and get out of doing it. Of like, oh, well, I have really small handwriting, so like this journal that I picked is too big, or like I have really big handwriting and this journal I picked is too small. Just find a fucking piece of paper that works. And you might have to adjust. Like I have found a perfect size notebook. It's kind of like going on a little Goldilocks journey. And I'm going to show you my journals right now that I kind of went through to find the right size for me. This here, too small. This is like a standard journal. This is actually what I write all of my poetry in and some of my deeper thoughts. This was way too big and it's like college ruled. And I just was like, that's just not going to happen. It isn't going to happen. But right here, right, so you can kind of see the difference, this is my sweet spot. Okay. This is the size that I have written all of my morning pages in, and it just works for me. This might be too big or too small for you. And like you can kind of see the size of my handwriting there. Right. So like just do it, just pick one and do it, no excuses, right? Do it first thing in the morning absolutely. Like that is really a transformative piece of this because you're getting your thoughts on paper unfiltered. Okay, enough there. And Julia talks about the morning pages so much. She gives a really beautiful introduction to them and kind of gives some tips and encouragements throughout the book because she knows how it is. Secondly, the artist date. The artist date are so crucial, and those have honestly been really challenging for me to be consistent with. It's just meant to be a time of fun and play, really for our inner child and to open our creativity, but not in a traditional sense of like, I'm going to sit down and paint or write or sing or whatever your creative modality is. It's, I'm going to go buy a bunch of stickers and then put them all over my notebook because it makes me happy. Or I'm going to go find a new place to hike and explore an adventure because that makes me feel alive. Right? Little things like that. And doing this every week for 2 hours. And it's so interesting because I've made a lot of excuses about this. Like, I have plenty of time to do that. And I'm getting better with it now. And it's still been a year. And I'm like, not every week is super consistent because it's about the intention. Like, I'm doing all of these things regularly, anyways. It's just a part of my lifestyle. But I notice when I put the label of artist date on it, all of a sudden it's like I don't want to do it. So this is really crucial because it's just an arbitrary time that we are dedicating to ourselves and our inner artist, and that can show up in any which way that we want it to. And it's really not meant to be that serious. It's just about loving on ourselves. And I don't know if I had mentioned this, but the artist date is once a week, 2 hours dedicated to your artist, doing just whatever you want to do, something playful. So these two practices are so transformative. I have processed so much, like an incredible amount through morning pages. And I'll just share some of the results, I guess, from going through this process. So I've been able to tap into my own unique voice and sounds and get back into music in a different way, and like getting into channeled sounds, which is something that is really beautiful for me. And meditative, therapeutic. I love it. Um, let's see. A lot of healing, of course, has happened. Just writing things down, like being raw and real with myself and witnessing my own process through writing has been really impactful. Um, I am in process. I have two different poetry books in the process. I always, like, for the last 4 years, felt that I would write a book, and I thought it would be some spiritual self-help kind of thing. But as I post about 6 months ago, started pouring over like several probably like over 10 journals at this point, like full over 1,000 pages of my own writing that I read through and transcribed and kind of boiled down, and noticed that the most prevalent thing in my writing is poetry. And so maybe my mind thought that it was going to come up with a plan to write some like genius self-help book, but my heart is expressed through poetry. And that's the easiest thing and the most like abundant thing that I have if I wanted to write a book, which I do. So those are slowly but surely coming to life. I've been able to come up with multiple different like workshops and events for inside of my business, getting my mentorship back up off the ground and doing it in a way that feels really aligned and like playful, right? And honoring my own creativity in my business that is a healing based business, right? But allowing myself to be full spectrum, really being more in connection with play. And that's really fun because, life can be kind of dicey. Like being a human is fucking sketch sometimes. So we need to be in play. We need to have fun. We need to let loose a little bit. So it's just a constant remembrance of that. And it's really just brought more fulfillment. I facilitated my own Artist Way group, and that was just absolutely amazing. Like everyone got results that showed up. Even, and so like, I guess I'll kind of end to start winding down here, but like, even if you're not like answering every question and doing every task, like keep reading, keep moving forward, keep doing your morning pages, keep showing up to your weekly check-in calls, like just keep doing whatever feels reasonable, and realistic. Okay, this isn't about perfection. It's just about honoring yourself and showing up for you and allowing yourself to be seen and vulnerable and be experienced by others and experiencing yourself. Just be honest, right? Let yourself go through the process. Doesn't have to be perfect. The book will still be there. You can read it again. I've read it twice and I'm probably going to continue reading it periodically for ever. I don't know. Right? Don't let the egoic rigidity get you down because our ego is just kind of fucking annoying, right? Like the ego is always going to come up with a problem to sabotage ourselves. So just keep that in mind. Like there's going to be a lot of feelings. This is like a really potent process to go through. It's really exciting. It's really a self-discovery and a beautiful journey. And the ego wants us to stay the same, where the ego is comfortable. And this is really moving the needle. So you'll probably experience 1,000 tiny little ego deaths and just let it happen and know that it's like, it's okay. It's okay not to be perfect. It's okay and normal and human to be wildly imperfect. And let it be fun. If it starts to feel heavy and serious, take a breather. Go on your artist date. Do something just for the hell of it, right? And remember that we're all here just on a journey by choice, and it gets to be fun. It gets to be healing. It gets to be transformative. It gets to be playful and silly and powerful and connective and creative and all of these different things just because, right? Just because we're here for it. So I am just wishing you the most amazing time in your artist way journey. Julia is an amazing like mentor for creativity. She just sums it all up and you'll notice as you read on that she really has been through it. Because as your mind starts like becoming aware of certain things, it's like the next chapter then addresses it directly. And it's really beautiful. Trust the process, trust yourself, trust that you've been called into this work for a reason, trust that you are an innately creative and amazing human. That is like your birthright, and our creativity is one of our connections to the divine. When we become a channel, we can just like flow with it. It's okay if it's a little bumpy sometimes. That's life. So learn to love all sides of this wild and crazy human experience and let yourself enjoy and be expanded. And that's what I've got for you. So wishing you the best of luck and fulfillment and enjoyment of your artist way process. I'll catch you on the flip side.